Oops, there are too many people saying luxury is how it makes you feel and I can't take it anymore. Yeah, that aspect of things, I don't like it. I do agree with that understanding of luxury in a sense. I do agree that luxury is how it makes you feel, because there is a point of luxury where you are paying for the name and it's diminishing returns. So really, why do you buy this brand? Because you like what the brand represents and you like the history and you like how it makes you feel. That is definitely a big part of it. But for me personally, I always think luxury needs to start from quality, because I just think at certain price points, there's no excuse to not have good quality. Because a lot of these brands, if I made a brand today, I could easily make a brand with good quality, because I just refuse to create a product that isn't good quality. So I'd make sure it is before I ever release that product. So it's not a difficult thing. It's genuinely, these companies just do not give a shit. They really don't care. They just don't care. They just don't. This just is what it is. But yeah, I think luxury should start from quality. I do hate when people just say, yeah, it's just about how it makes you feel. And like, it's not all about quality and all that sort of stuff. Let's see. Did you see the $1,000 Dior sandal TikTok where the strap popped off and the woman went to the boutique and they said they can't fix it? Then the sales assistant quietly told her to go to a cobbler. Do you think this will be the new norm with the older houses quality? I mean, first of all, Dior footwear quality is absolute in like bin quality. It's literally trash. So that should be stated first of all. Yeah, that's what the future is going to be. Like I always say, a lot of these brands, they cut corners and the quality of their stuff is horrible. The only thing that I guess is quote unquote luxury with a lot of these brands is the price point and nothing else. So yeah, I think that's going to be the future of luxury. I think that we won't be able to differentiate between luxury and fast fashion. We are already at that point anyway. I mean, look at the scandal that came out with Dior using slave labor and stuff like that. So it's not, at some point, there are literally some luxury brands that I can't differentiate between fast fashion, to be honest. I think that's definitely the future. I just wish that, you know, customers were more discerning and didn't buy into that shit. So we kind of forced their hand and they are forced into making good quality clothing because no one is accepting the bullshit. But unfortunately, they have way too many customers that don't care. So it doesn't matter. $57 bag, selling them for $2,500 is a crime, but who am I? Get your money. I also find it, do you know what I find the funniest about this whole luxury fashion conversation that we have every time? What I find so funny about this conversation is how many people defend luxury brands like their life depends on it. I don't get it. There are people that are like, no, but you don't understand, because by the time you account for, you know, the marketing that goes into it and you account for the staff and the stores, they're basically barely making a profit. And I'm like, you must not work in the fashion industry, because if you think their profit margins are low selling these pieces, you I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to you, to be honest. I don't know what to say. Like, the profit margins are insane. Just in case you didn't know. If you're watching this and you're one of those people, just in case you didn't know. So I don't know why people defend luxury brands like their life depends on it. Like, it's overpriced, the quality is shit, move on. There's no need to defend the brand. What is what it is. Facts are facts. Bad quality, terribly made, cheaply made also, and it's overpriced. That's it. That's just the truth of the matter. There's no need to be like, no, but when you account for the shipping and the marketing that goes into marketing the products, and of course, you know, all the other divisions of the brand, and when you think of how the fact they have to pay the staff in the stores and the, you know, the rent, how much the rent costs, and the real estate, and, you know, how much when they serve champagne in the stores, and, you know, all these different things, and they spend so much money on the runway shows, and it's like, bro, it's like, bro, they pay for all those things and the profit margins are still high. I wouldn't be surprised if some counterfeits cost more to produce than authentic pieces, given economies of scale. That's a good point, and that I wouldn't be surprised either. That's a very good point. Luxury brands marketing mostly targets the middle and lower classes. Is the trade-off accessibility versus craftsmanship? Oh yeah, 100%. Because I do think that when a piece is more luxury, the craftsmanship can't be lackluster, because I think that customer segment won't allow it. Which is why every label of a brand that is seen as more luxe is actually really good quality, but the day-to-day ready-to-wear pieces are always terrible. Like, could you imagine having a very bad quality haute couture piece? Like, that would never happen. So yeah, I think the trade-off is like craftsmanship, because to make a lot of these things accessible and to churn them out in a way that these brands make a lot of profit, they have to produce them in a very fast fashion way. Yeah, 100%. A lot of those materials are bought in bulk and less quality compared to underground affordable luxury brands. Yeah, 100%. Which is why, going back to the question that someone asked earlier about do younger generations care about labels? That's why I still think they care about labels, because if it was just a quality conversation, it definitely would be, you know, people would go to the more low-key brands that make better quality garments that actually cost less, or they would get stuff custom made like someone mentioned earlier, because it's cheaper probably to get stuff custom made than the price of Bottega ready-to-wear. That's insane sometimes. I've seen a Bottega ready-to-wear skirt for 23k before. So at that point, you can just go to a fashion designer, buy the fabric yourself and be like, can you make this? I can assure you it'll be cheaper than 23k. If brands can manage the quantity a factory makes, why do they end up destroying millions of dollars worth of product? So I think it's a misconception that luxury brands actually manage the quantity that a factory makes. They don't. Let me tell you how it goes. So a lot of factories, especially like for luxury brands, they have a certain capacity. So as brands expand, they only think of things in terms of capacity. And I'm not talking about like mid-level brands like I'm talking about really big brands. I'm talking like the Burberrys, the Gucci's, especially when it comes to luxury bags. They just think as we need to expand because this factory has 1,000 bags capacity per week. So we need to invest in another factory so that we can double it and have a capacity of 2,000 per week. These are the terms in which these brands think about these things. So they just produce whatever the capacity is, and then whatever happens. That's how these brands, I think people think that these brands actually care about sustainability. They don't care. They just produce what is possible for them to produce, and what happens. So they hope that all of it sells, and if it doesn't, the rest, they destroy it. That's why they destroy those things, because they aren't actually managing quantity. That's not what they're doing. They're just thinking of things in a output per 1,000 we can produce per factory. That's how these brands think about things. Wanted to mention, when I was just in Tokyo, I saw more Celine handbags on locals than I had seen in London or LA. Wondering if they will continue doing well in Japan now that Eddie is out. I mean, Japan in general, there's the luxury market in Japan is absolutely insane. If you guys are on the Patreon, you guys, when I was reading out how luxury lost its luster, you guys would know all the stats that we read about in that book. It's insane how important Japan is as a luxury market. Like there was a stat that almost every single Japanese adult has at least one luxury piece, like one piece from a luxury fashion brand, which is insane. Really, really insane. Yeah, this was what the stat, 40% of the Japanese population own LV. Yeah, that was LV, but there was another stat that was about just luxury in general. It was like almost every single Japanese adult owns at least one product from a luxury fashion brand, which was insane. Absolutely insane. The Japanese secondhand market is popular enough where there's no gatekeeping anymore. I don't think it's been known for years. Oh, are people still trying to gatekeep the Japanese market? You know, people like, oh, don't put them on to Bai. It's like, Bai is not niche. Bai, everyone knows about Bai at this point. Like, it's not... Like, people know about the Yahoo Japan auctions. That is not niche. It's so funny when people try to gatekeep that. Like, no, bro, don't put them on the Bai. I remember one time I told people that you can buy cheaper, like you can find really good deals on Ukes, and people are like, don't put them on Ukes, bro. And I'm like, Ukes is not even it's not even as niche as you think. Ukes is really not as niche as you think. It's really not that niche. Are there any Japanese brands you're currently interested in or looking to read up on more? The Japanese brands that I look at most of the time these days is Noir, Kane and Amiya, and Anrilid. Those are the two Japanese brands that really, really interest me. So yeah, I'd say those brands. Why is it that the avant-garde people judge those who don't wear it so hard? Especially in Paris, like, you ain't someone special. Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird. People even do it to me. it's really weird. I think it's I genuinely think this. If you're the kind of person that is always telling people how they should dress and stuff, I think there's something genuinely wrong with you. Like there must be something inadequate, maybe because you spent so much money on your clothes. You kind of want to show everyone that you know more about fashion, and you're kind of perpetuating that and on other people. But just wear what you want to wear and let other people wear what they want to wear. There is a lot of, you know, judgment, especially people that dress more avant-garde. They're like, oh, no one knows how to dress, blah blah blah. It's just like, mate, just wear your yoji in peace. Like not everyone has to look like they're going to an art fair. Not everyone wants to look like that either. But if you want to look like that, so be it. That's also great. Boaz, this is also really true. If you call yourself avant-garde in 2024, please stay away from me. Yeah, like the kind of weirdness that comes with calling, like referring to yourself as avant-garde is insane. That is actually insane. Let's see. To be honest, I dislike people putting their styles in genres like avant-garde, different cores, etc. Then people will be saying they are versatile when they wear a shirt on one day, then a jumper on another day. Yeah, I don't know why people like labels. Labels are so weird. Like I can literally wear a Nike Tech Fleece tracksuit on a Monday and a massively wide yoji trousers with a random identities blazer and loafers on a Tuesday, and then wear a very avant-garde Rick Owens piece on a Wednesday. I don't know why people like to box themselves in. Like, just wear what you want. However you're feeling on that day, just dress that way. Don't worry about other people and, oh, you don't look avant-garde enough. Oh, this person can't dress, blah, blah, blah. I find those people really weird. I do get comments like that on my channel all the time. Like, not just about the way I dress, but the way, let's say I'm talking about someone, they talk about the way someone dresses. And it's just like, why is it such an issue? Just let the person wear what they want to wear. Let's see. Bruno says, fair point, but I still think it would be interesting, even if done for Patreons, for instance. Alex Neuf has a cool video showing details on a vintage Chanel couture piece. You know what? That's a good idea, actually. I will write that down, but also make sure that, you know, people don't get pissed off. They don't get their knickers in a twist when I make the video and they're like, but you said, but you... I have to give like 50 disclaimers. That's actually true, because I don't actually show any of my clothing for the most part. So that is something that I could bring to the Patreon and just talk about some of my favorite pieces in my collection and do that. That's actually a really good idea. So yeah, I'll definitely do that. This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club, where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.